B, is it time to talk about it, B? The man of the
Yeah,
year,
yeah, Scuti, or whatever it's called.
UI Scuti. I don't know how to say it. He said it on the album. He only said it once, and I still don't know what it means. But let's go ahead and talk about it, B. Young Thug, UI Scuti. This is his first project coming out of jail, coming out of being imprisoned. You know, he had a lot riding on him. Pause. He had
hmm
those them jail call leaks. He had the whole situation with him beefing with Gunna. He's coming off of a great album with so much fun, besides Business is Business, which I do enjoy, but a lot of people don't like it, even though that was the album that he released while he was in jail. He had a lot riding on this album. This album got delayed potentially because Cardi B was releasing last week. And, you know, it was a
hmm
ladies' night instead of, you know, when he was supposed to be dropping or whatever. He had a lot riding on this album, B. I am not the biggest Young Thug fan. I like Young Thug. I don't love him, but I've been following his career since the blog era, since Gucci Man basically introduced him. 1017 Thug. This is basically when I've been following him. I don't like or love every single Thug project, but I do like a good amount of them. He's one of the most impactful and influential in the game, especially when it comes to Southern hip hop. But B, UY Scuti. This album has received a lot of mixed reception online. And B,
Is it
you're not
mixed?
Young Thug. I've seen a lot of mix. I've seen people saying they love it, Thug is back, and I've also seen people like Thug is washed. He shouldn't be picking up a mic no more. You know, they're picking up my sentiments on a lot of other rappers. B, I really want to hear your thoughts on this album because I have mine, but I want to hear yours first as the non-resident Young Thug fan.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Young Thug guy. So much fun. I like the first half of it. Um, but yeah, man, this I had to turn this album off after listening to the first song. B, when he got into his N-word spat, I was all right. I'm gonna re-go, but I'm gonna start it off from Yuck. So I go into Yuck, and I came back and I was like, all right, I'm driving around. I had to go look for some stuff, anyways. So I'm listening to Yuck, and I'm like, Young Thug doesn't sound confident on this. His voice is a little different. I think he's a little rusty. Ken Carson on here. I wasn't really too mad at his verse for some reason. I'm like, it's just whack. It just is what it is. I didn't really care for that song, Yuck. Going to the On the News. Have you ever seen your face on the news? Have you ever seen your, Cardi B actually probably had one of the best verses on the album. Her verse was probably the best verse on the album to me. From the features, in my opinion. I'm sorry. This is how I feel. You ask my thoughts, B. Don't give me those looks.
I know, I know.
But Young Thug on this track, like I said, didn't feel confident at all. His voice is not the same. He don't even get into his high pitched vocal tone anymore on this to me. Like it's like he said in a recent interview how he talked about his style and how he used to wear the dress and he passed that down to Uzi and them. Like he dumbed himself down. And I'm not gonna give him too much flack on this album just because of his circumstances with the stripping of some of the content that he can talk about. So, anyways, we got Catch Me I'm Falling. From tracks like this and other tracks, Young Thug is trying to be more vulnerable about how he's feeling. He's been crying, he's been sad. It's a lot of his friends became rats, blase blah. The subject matter is not much differently. I'm not even gonna go down these track by track. I'm just gonna sum up my thoughts fully. um Young Thug is trying to be as vulnerable as possible, but it doesn't hit and land for me on this album. Miss My Dog is a cool track, but some of the stuff just wasn't there. It still feels rust. It's a lot of rust on this album. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of rust. I went going back and listening to So Much Fun and being like, wow, he was having so much fun. Right now, you could tell that he is don't know what to do right now, which we all predicted that he was gonna have. It was gonna be a struggle for him to think of subject matter because you got a song when he goes, yellow, some yellow like Goku, I'm the shit like doo doo. It's like you got signs like you got lines like that, and it's just like, come on, Thug. Like put it together, strip away all these long songs and kind of make not long songs, but drawn out like track lists and kind of like I feel like you did a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? You could remove a little bit of this stuff and kind of like focus on the song, the songwriting itself, and to get out that the vulnerability you have, and then trying to hop on a viral moment with the Whoop De Doo song. I remember tweeting, "Do not put this song out, please." This song is so bad, it's so dusty, and then he has a second part to it. Whoop-de-doo, you do this, and he tried to get more melodic with it. And I'm like, you're embarrassing yourself with this. And I was getting secondhand embarrassment from listening to Whoop-de-doo. It was so nasty. And then to get on the RP Big Mac, RP Big and Mac, I actually like the production on here. Young Thug sounded okay on this. Ti, don't go on the freaking diatribe of a fucking donkey again in your life. You put the donkey on the dirt back, on the dirt on the donkey back. You knock it off. That donkey back. Try to kick like me. Bet you thought you could. And now I'm like, man, get out of here, Ti. You just sound like a drunk uncle. Um, just stop it. Sad Spider. He's sad again. I'm so dope. It's like so lazy. I'm so lazy. That was like one of the laziest hooks from any Young Thug I ever. I'm like, he has really. It stripped him from any creativity of like all the freaking barriers they put on this man. That the "I'm So Dope" song was like, is he really saying this? I'm so dope. That song was lazy. Okay, the what up Jesus with I'm gonna skip the Sexy Red track. I didn't care for the Little Baby track. The Wife and Lucci track is a track that would you like the Little Baby track?
Lil Baby had a standout feature on here. What are we talking about?
His verse was cool, but it's Little Baby. I don't really care for Little Baby. Like it didn't do nothing for me. I'm not saying it was bad. I just don't care about it. Um, YF and Lucci is, these guys have beef, so much stuff happened allegedly between these two. And them actually collaborating on YFL Lucci album and and Young Thug's album. This gave me like a old of Atlanta, like a certain time how I felt the hook, even from the production.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this track was cool to me. I wasn't like, oh, this sucks. To me, this was a cool track. I kind of like how Young Thug actually sounded on this track, and I thought it was okay track. And then the walk down, I didn't care. 21, I don't care about that. The Travis Scott didn't care. The Lil Got It, 1300 Saint didn't care. Future didn't care. Mariah Carey I just didn't care about this. This is just too much. Dreams rarely do come true. The second half of that track, I actually enjoyed. I like the sample they did. I like how Young Thug was like doing his little crooning on that, and I love the production. And then Miss My Dog was a song I felt it was way too long. A good track, but it got to a point where he was just rambling and trying to apologize to people that heard his calls. And I'm like, it is what it is. But overall, this album is very confusing to me. Um, just because I know Young Thug don't like this album. I know he knew he had to just put out something because he's hot right now. He's not happy with this project. He can't be. This is some of the laziest, phoned in, not knowing how to express his emotions. Hearing from some of the recent clips from his recent interview he has with the Pivot podcast, Young Thug is a lost man, and he says he don't need therapy. He talks to his family. He needs therapy. He needs to actually get these thoughts out from a professional that actually can help him articulate and understand what he's going through. But he's a very lost gentleman right now. And from this album, you could tell it is a mess. Um, it's a mess. And that's pretty much all I really have to say.
For me, like I said, not the biggest Young Thug fan, but going into this project, I was very skeptical of what he was going to rap and talk about because while Young Thug is a creative mind, I'm like, a lot of the projects that he has come out with, especially in the streaming era, have all been bloated to a degree. There's always going to be some songs on it. Always. Like, it's never a 10 out of 10 project. Like, even though I love so much from it, I think it's his best album, yes, there is some bloat on there as well. Going into this project, I already knew it was going to be bloated. Beat 20 tracks. You just came out of jail. All right, so let's see where this goes. Like I said, not the biggest Young Thug fan. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The intro, like with them talking about the court case, him being in YSL, we could not let this guy come out. I'm like, all right, Young Thug, this is the vibe I kind of wanted to come in with UY Scuti, even though the cover art is very weird. You a white version of yourself. So going into the project, we got Ninja, and I was listening to it. I'm like, all right, Thug, we getting the regular Thug, we getting the deep voice Thug, but then he gets into what he call his ops, and I'm just like, Thug, I know you're doing this to grab attention. This has to be that moment of you trying to grab people's attention. You trying to bring some shock value to the album. You want to bring people in like, oh, why is he saying this? Like, is the rest of the album like this? This has to be one of those marketing moments where he's like, he knows that people are going to start circulating with this, especially with it being the first track. Yes, people are going to bring this in because this is the one thing I saw on the timeline that night when this song came out. Because I listened to the first 3 songs when it came out, and this is all people were talking about. I'm like, this is a great way to grab people in, to bring people in, or to either deter people from actually listening to the rest, which you either love Young Thug or you don't. It's one of the two. But to me, this album has a very, very slow start because the first 3 tracks, like I said, the beginning of the first track was cool. Yuck, I did not like it. I was like, Ken Carson had such a weak feature on there to me, and to me, Ken Carson does not thrive in this field where it's not rage. Like when it's not rage, he does not thrive because just like Travis Scott, they are not good lyricists. They're not good penners when it comes to songwriting or anything like that. So to have Ken Carson on a beat that's so stripped down where I gotta focus in on his lyrics, I'm like, this is not good. I do not like this feature. On the News was very repetitive. Cardi B gave an okay verse. Obviously, like you said, better than Thugs, yes. But to me, this wasn't the one where I'm just like, oh yeah. To me, it starts really going into the album with Catch Me If I'm Falling when he starts to get into that vulnerability that I did hope that was going to be on this album because I'm like, yo, what is UY Scuti? What is this? Is this an alter ego? Is this a person? Is this like a motive? Is this like a catchphrase? What is UY Scuti? Effing Told You, cool. Then we get into Whoop De Doo, which was a song that we knew was not going to be on the album, but it had to be on the album because this is a viral moment. He's trying to capitalize off of the whole podcast clip of him saying Whoop De Doo and it going viral crazy on TikTok. And when I heard the snippet, I'm like, no, this is not good. When I heard the song, I'm like, all right, this is like fun Thug. Like, I can't be mad at this, but I do see like you're trying to capitalize off of you saying whoop de doo. And then the second part of the track comes in. I'm like, all right, okay, you getting a bit more like less fun, but it's still in that same vein of fun. Then we get into Blaming Jesus, Sad Spider, more vulnerable tracks, which I really did enjoy because he's talking about his experience in jail, even though this is very, very surface level, like Rod Wave level surface level. It was cool to me. Rod Wave was supposed to be on one of these songs, but just like on So Much Fun with MGK, someone on his team messed up and didn't put Rod Wave on the feature, and so he said he's gonna have to do some firing in the AM, which there is another version of UY Scuti with an extra track on there with Quavo on there. I heard it this morning because I didn't know until this morning. That song was cool as well. RIP Big and Mac, T.I. gave a really great verse, but I thought T.I. was retired. He's been on like 3 projects this year, but he's supposed to have been retired. So I'm very curious, like, T.I., are you really retired or are you just not making your albums anymore? Because if so, just say that. You still giving out, you was on Jermaine Dupri's project, Magic City. You was on Futuristic Summer. You were on this project. I'm just saying, I'm a big T.I. guy. I know you really don't care for T.I. like that. T.I. going on this big old monologue at the end. I thought it was funny, but on continuing listens, I'm just like, all right. Invest into you. Every time Mariah the Scientist is on the track, I'm like, she cannot sing. I don't care for her on these hooks. It just wasn't doing it for me. I'm So Dope. I agree with you. Was a very lazy track. Very, very repetitive. Pardon My Back. Lil Baby gave a fire feature. B. The bracelet is rainbow, but I ain't gay. B. Come on, B. Hey, Lil Baby's verse, hard.
What?
Lil
And
Baby,
then freaking Cardi,
hard.
then not Cardi, but Thug had to like on his verse had to say something. I ain't gay, but some rape. Oh, like, bro, come on.
But this is my thing, B. Doug, I need you to make back up with Gunner. I need you and Gunner to get back because Gunner would have been perfect on this. Oh man, we just need the trio back, B. The Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. We need them back, B. Mommy, it was cool. I mean, it was. What Up, Jesus, Wife, and Lucci? I agree with you. This does sound like the blog era / futuristic style of Atlanta traps, the Atlanta music sound. I did like it. It felt like an ode to it. So, this was a fun track. Walk Down and Pipe Down. Obviously, standard rap caviar songs. So, you know what you're going to get with that rap caviar songs, like I said. Spider Jeffrey is the one with Lobo. This is standard rap caviar as well. This was added to a different version of UY Scuti that released recently online as well, but people ain't talking about it because people just don't know. Then we got Revenge. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was feeling that. I like the production, I like the song, I like the features, everything about this song I like. And funny enough, Money on Money follows that. I did not like Money on Money as a single for the album. I
Mm-hmm.
still don't like it as a single for the album. But in the context of the album, where the sequel stand in the album, I enjoyed it. I liked it more. Dreams rarely do come true. This was a cool song, but like I said, Mariah the Scientist doesn't add anything to any of these songs for me. I get it, they're dating. This is his woman. You want to put her on, y'all get money together. For me personally, Mariah the Scientist doesn't do anything on this album for me. Then we got Miss My Dogs. I love this track. I love the vulnerability. I love Thug apologizing, not taking full accountability for everything, obviously, but I do like this track. But I do not like the way that it is cut off on streaming. I like the version of the music video because the way it ends in the actual streaming version, it just feels like it just cuts off
It just shuts
abruptly.
right off.
Yeah, and I'm just like, we couldn't let the beat play out a little bit or slow it down. Like it literally like when you put a fade on in the video, you put it for the last 2 seconds and it just drops. I'm just like, that felt so weird. But I do like it as the ending track to this project right here. But I will agree, this project is bloated. It's all over the place, and it's not showing the best of what Thug can do on this project right here. A lot of this was kind of phoned in. A lot of this was kind of rushed. He's trying to put a project out. He's trying to capitalize it in the music itself. I get it. You're trying to make this money move. You're trying to make these money plays. You could tell that he really probably wanted to delay this project so he could put that whoop-de-doo song on there, to be real with you. I'm going to be honest because literally that track started going off. He already had the release date for the first album. And with streaming, you could do that. You could
Yeah.
hurry up and delay something and put something out real quick because all you're doing is sending over files.
Mm-hmm.
But going over this project, this is a bloated mess. I do like a good amount of projects on here. I didn't mind
Songs.
replaying it, but there were songs. I did like a good amount of songs on here. Thank you.
Now
Uh
you good.
but the replayability for all of this project right here, there are times where it slows down. There are times where I'm like, all right, I got to go through this. There are some standout tracks on here, but overall as a project, I thought it was fine. But I'm referring in terms of like Young Thug's catalog itself. So Much Fun is still a much better project. Barter 6 is a better project as well. Beautiful Thugger Girls is a really good project. Jeffrey is a better project than this. People are either going to love this or hate this. I enjoyed it enough to where I'm like, all right, there's a good amount of tracks on here that I like, but overall, the stripping of the actual content matter, the stripping of him not being able to work probably with everybody or not having those features that he really needs, like a Drake feature on here. I'm not saying this because I'm a Drake fan. Obviously, Drake was on Business is Business. He was on the previous project on 2 songs, and those songs were bangers. But coming on here, no Gunna on here, you could definitely see the missing points on this project right here. And like he said in the interviews, he doesn't have everybody around him to make that music or to have fun with anymore. And you could feel that in this project right here. I'm not saying woe is me for Thug because obviously Thug isn't being held accountable for the things that he's done in this stuff, but the life of what's happened with that case is now affecting the music, and so that's why I'm bringing that stuff in here for added context. But yeah, overall for me, this was cool. There were some songs I really, really did enjoy. I enjoyed Doug being a bit more vulnerable and talking about his experience in jail, while it was very, very tame and surface level. Uh, I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Right. Man, I just want Young Thug to like, get his mental right because being in prison and stuff like that can strip away your just your feelings, especially thinking you're facing 100 years can make you be a little like daunting of like not being able to be out in the free world anymore. And that
Mhm.
stuff strips your motivation, man. Like you don't be in jail all hyped, you know what I'm saying? Just ready to rap and make music. So I just think that we need to give him a few more albums, let him be out a little bit, and then maybe he can find his voice again and actually understand what direction he want to go into and find that fun, collaborate with different people and find another way to speak on the things he really want to speak about as well. Because I know it no more gang talk, you know what I'm saying? It's some of that stuff you kind of miss. You kind of miss a little bit of that stick talk, you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna lie to you, but it just is what it is. I like you said, B, it's a few tracks on here I liked as well, but I will not be returning back to this at all. Young Thug, um, I hope the best for you, man. I don't know if I might listen to your next album just to see what it is, just to see how far along you're coming in this new area in your career right now, because it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Mhm.
A lot of scrutiny he's been facing, B, from each side, especially even from the song, the Ninja song. Like, my dude, why would you do that? It's just some stuff you got to do and think about as a public figure, like what other people will do with some of the work you put out. You got these white streamers just like, oh yeah, playing the song, just that part and just loving it. It's just like things like that. I'm like, we just don't think, bro. Like come
And
on,
see,
bro.
but B, when have we known Young Thug to really think for the greater good of everything, though? And so my thing is, because I've seen so many think pieces about the Ninja song, I've seen so many memes about the Ninja song over this weekend. And my thing is this: Young Thug was never the brightest person. Like, Young Thug is a business, man. He's thinking about money. Young Thug has never been the guy to have big sales. He's trying to capture that audience of having big sales. And I know a lot of people are like, Young Thug, you got to think about the white audience that you have. You saying this rhetoric. Now I saw people bringing in Kanye song, Double H. You get what I'm saying? They was bringing in that song like, oh, are the streaming services going to take the song down like they did Kanye's? And I'm just like, all right, dog. A lot of people are like, oh, we could talk about gang violence and all that type of stuff. And y'all don't want to say anything to those people, but you want to say something to Young Thug when he says the hard R. I'm just like, hi. I'm like, Young Thug was just cloud chasing. He was trying to grab a moment because this part of the song will not age well at all. I mean, it's not good now, but it definitely won't age well later on as we go further down. This will be a meme moment. This is a for the moment. That along with the whoop-de-doo. These are tracks for the moment, not tracks that are going to be long lasting in his discography or career. But yeah, B, you got any final statements on this project? This hour and 17-minute project?
Just Young Thug, man. I don't know, bro. I just really don't think that it's the criticism of him right now because he has so much barrier, so much like handcuffs. He's cuffed. Some of the stuff he could talk about, being stripped from his friends, them leaving him. They're rats now. I'm a rat. I'm a rat. You know what I'm
Yak
saying?
a rat. Obama a
I'm
rat.
a rat. So it's like it's kind of hard for him to like actually do what he wants to do. It's hard for him to do it. So it's like I'm grading this on like a scale. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not too. I'm not gonna be too hard on him. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm being more lenient, I guess, with him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little leniency. But your next album,
I
buddy,
think
get it together.
I think he needs to go the Ti route. B. He needs to just start reading the dictionary every day to get his vernacular up. The hippopotamus, hippopotamus. He needs to start doing that. Like when Ti went from Ti versus TIP to Paper Trail, he needs to have that trajectory. He needs to start reading the dictionary, B, so he can start articulating his words and start
Hey,
using
nah,
words.
that's gonna be a little too difficult for Thug.
B, you say
But
he can't
Jeffrey,
read?
I ain't saying that. He talked about reading in the interview. I don't think Thug is dumb. That's why some of the stuff he
I
did
think he's
like that.
ignorant.
Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff you don't know. Yeah, I think everybody ignorant.
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, B? What's your
But yeah.
final thoughts?
This is an okay album. There were points in there where I was like, okay, this is what I wanted from the project. But then there's also points in here where I'm just like, well, come on, let's step it up. This could have been cut out. This is way overbloated. But it's like I gotta blame it. I can't fully blame it, but some reasons for this. Streaming. You gotta have more songs so you can have more streaming numbers. People been wanting more Young Thug music since he's been out of jail. His last project was Business is Business. And the stripping of the content matter and the actual him not being around all the people that he was with.
Right.
Because having Gunna in here probably could have elevated this. The subject matter of him being a tough guy could have probably elevated this. But he can't do that anymore. So that's what I'm saying. He can only really go the TI route from TI versus TIP to Paper Trail. This is the only way that we're really going to get a Supreme Young Thug album. But also, to me, this was a more tame Thug because he didn't have that wacky or weirdness about Thug that really makes him Thug. That really created all these other babies of Thug because B, Went back to Saw Baby's project earlier this year, saw him, and I'm like, we talked about
B,
it. You doing a better Young Thug than Thug.
I told you it was a dumbed down version of Thug. Like so stripped down.
Mm-hmm.
None of the theatrics. None of it. It just was weird. I was like, am I actually listening? This nigga, is this Young Jeffrey? Like, what is this? This not Young Thug. This is different.
Well, B,
So.
this has to be the person on the front of the cover, UY Scuti. The white guy with the blue eyes. That's the Thug. Maybe that's why he made it. Like, he took out the seasoning, B.
Boy stripped the seasoning off, B.
Uh-huh.
Man, bro. That's a nasty cover. I ain't even
It
nasty.
is. Oh man. Hey B, maybe he's putting his hands over his ears. That way he doesn't have to hear it either.
I saw Ken Carson's like, he posted his and was like, I got vitiligo. It's like,
did you see Young Thug? He posted a whole bunch of like
all
him,
my
Lil Baby,
friends.
21. Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. These Negroes.
Oh man, but that's our thoughts on UY Scuti. If you listen to this, let us know what you think about it down in the comment section down below. And if you're not going to listen to it, there's probably going to be a million reasons why you wouldn't. Let us also know why you ain't listening to UY Scuti.
Man, shout out to Beyond Beats and Culture.